We're going to go over some of the questions on the homework. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'm going to show you some examples of what you should have been looking for. The answer sheets hopefully will be given out to you. And then these will go over some of the questions, and hopefully that will help you work with your neighbor sort of figure it out. Number 1, number 2 asks you to find 4 solutions for each equation and write the solutions in ordered pairs. I'll do the first one. Essentially what it's asking you to do is take y equals x plus 2 and make our table. Solutions are an x-y combo that we can plug in and make it work. You could have done it in your head, but we could just choose any x. Say we chose 2. If x were 2, that'd be 2 plus 2, and y is 4. Again, I need the solution is 2 comma 4. 2, 4 is a solution, because if I wrote this equation, y equals x plus 2, and instead of y, I put 4, and instead of x, I put 2, 4 equals 4, which is true. That's why it's a solution. So I can find my solutions quickly by just doing 1 plus 2, that's 3. So it's 1 comma 3. I could do 0, 0 plus 2, that's 0 comma 2. And if I wanted to, I could do like 5. 5 plus 2 is 5 comma 7. So you're going to write your solutions as ordered pairs. You would do the same thing for this one and write a whole bunch of ordered pairs, hopefully 4 of them. If I were to graph these, it would be in a straight line. It's not a coincidence. I'm sure that this one gave you a bit of trouble. Question 3 and 4 tends to give people some trouble. But here's my equation, y equals 0.62x. Describes the approximate number of miles y in x kilometers. So this is miles, and this is kilometers. So that's how I can convert back and forth between them. About how many miles is a 10 kilometer race? Well, I know if 10 kilometers is my x. That means x equals 10. So if x is 10, I plug that into my equation. Y equals 0.62x. Y equals 0.62 times 10. So y equals 6.2. So my answer is 6.2 miles. That's what I have to do, which means that's a solution. So that means 10 kilometers is the same as 6.2 miles. So the same thing based on that equation. They're the same thing. So if x is 10, that means y equals 6.2. It is a solution. Speaking of which, question number 4 says, if this is a solution, that means x is 8 and y equals 4.96. So what does that solution mean? Well, since it's a solution, that means if I plug it in, it would work. Y equals 0.62x. Let's see. If 0.62 times 8, is that the same thing as y, which is 4.96? And if you multiply 0.62 times 8, you get 4.96. So it's a solution, which means it works. But more importantly, x is my kilometers and y is my miles. So that means 8 kilometers equals 4.96 miles. That's actually taking more information and making some actual decisions based off of it. That's what it means. These questions should have been easy. Graph each equation by plotting ordered pairs. In other words, make a table. Here's a hint. Make sure that your equation is in function form first, which means solve for y. This is solve for y, you're good to go. This one solve for y, you're good to go. One of the problems with this is negative x. So I can quickly do that one and show you how students get this one wrong. Make a quick table. Choose my x's, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And here, start with the negatives. It's negative whatever x is minus 6. Well, x is -2, so it's a negative -2. Negative is a positive 2. Positive 2 plus 6. Sorry, I'll do it over here. Negative 2 minus 6. Well, a negative is a positive 2. A negative is a positive. Keep, change. That's a -4. I'll do it again with -1. It's negative whatever x is. So x is -1. So it's a -1 minus 6. A negative is a positive. Keep, change. That's a -5. -0 minus 6. Well, -0 is 0 minus 6. Keep, change. That's a -6. Again, you should be noticing a pattern. It's negative whatever x is minus 6. Well, now x is a positive 1. It's -1 minus 6. -1 minus 6. Keep, change. -7. If you do the same thing down here, you get -8. That's why my graph should look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your graph should look something like that. Not going up. If you like your graph going up, or if you have a graph that does this, you did something wrong. Your graph goes up, you did something wrong. Your graph goes down, does a V like this, again, you did something wrong. All of these should be straight lines. If you're getting V's, you're doing something wrong, you probably messed up your negative work. Pay attention to your negatives. Remember that it's already negative, so a negative would make it a positive. Go down to these guys. 7 should be easy. 8 and 9 are the only ones that require a bit more work. The reason they're trickier is because you have to solve for y first. Isolate y, minus 6 minus 6. Y equals x minus 6. And now that I have this equation, now I plug in my -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, and do it that way. Again, number 9, have to solve for y first. This one's tricky because you have to pay attention to the signs. It's always the negatives that get you guys. Isolate the term that contains my variable, which is my y. So I subtract 3x, because 3x is positive, subtract 3x. This is send the constant to the end, -3x plus 7, so the constant to the end, so the constant to the end, 3x is negative, 7 is positive. And this time I have a negative y. I have a negative y. Don't forget the negative y. Now, I can't have negative y, I want to solve for positive y, so I divide by -1. Every term gets divided by -1. And it's y equals negative over negative is positive 3x minus 7. And now this is my equation that I make my table based off of. Obviously, if you don't get the equation correct, your table is going to be wrong, and if your table is going to be wrong, your line is going to be wrong. So you need to know how to solve and rewrite equations correctly first.